Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jérémy Grosfroca, and I am the MR Customer Center Manager for GE Healthcare in Europe. It's a great pleasure for me for this Sunday to welcome you for the last MR Lab Scanning session for ECR 2021. So I hope you enjoyed your Congress. And for this last session, we will cover a next exciting subject. It will be the cardiac session. Maybe just before to start our session this morning, let me introduce you the team of GE Healthcare with me this morning for this session. First of all, in book with me, we have Jérôme Bedet, who is our zone clinical leader for cardiac and vascular imaging. And as well, in the chat, we have Hicham Gouadjelia, who is the product marketing manager for treaty segment in Europe, but with a large background in cardiac MR. And he will follow all the questions in the chat. We will answer everything during the session. You can as well make all your comments or feedback on what you are seeing in live. We are more than happy to make something really interactive this morning as well. So to start the session, this morning we'll be performing cardiac imaging at 3 Tesla using air. So yes, 3 Tesla, because here we are in the magnet room of our customer center, where we have a Signal 3T architect, the system we are going to use to scan this morning, and using air. About air, something really important to highlight maybe before to start. Today, air is not only a coil. It's not only a single feature. Air, it's more an ecosystem of solution that we developed in order to deliver a simply better experience of MR to our patients and our customers. So you have feature that will be with you at any step of an MR procedure. It will start with the patient and the user experience using the air coil or the air multipurpose coil. And then we'll move to the air workflow. We will try to smooth and simplify your workflow using features, for example, like air touch. And it will finish with air image quality using air recon deep learning. So we will be faced to all of this ecosystem during this presentation, and in order to really demonstrate you the full story of the air products. To start, because we are in the room and we are starting our examination, I think the story of this examination will start with the coil. We are using this morning the air multipurpose coil, medium size, which is this coil. So this coil could be named as well as a cardiac dedicated coil. In this coil, you will have 20 channel elements, and this is exactly the same characteristic than the air coil. It's really light, so when it comes to scan cardiac, it will be highly and definitely better for the patient to have don't have a heavy weight on his chest, and it will put less pressure on the electrodes. So you will get probably a better ECG signal. And as well, it's really flexible. So you will really be able to fit this coil to your patient and to your patient morphology. And we keep a really large coverage, so you will be able to really scan the full thorax with this coil. But it's as well, and for sure, a story of image quality, because thanks to the 20 channel elements with the air coil technology, you will be able to use high parallel imaging factor and to reach the better image quality. Just to mention it, because it's important to keep mentioning it, we still have the big brother of the family that you can as well use without problem for the cardiac imaging, the anterior array air coil. But as the multipurpose coil are our new products in terms of coils, this is the coil that we are going to use this morning. Just as a small reminder, we already used those coils yesterday for MSK. We scan ankle and elbow. So it's really the versatility story of this coil, which we demonstrate during this congress. Here, now it's the time to install the patient and to demonstrate how it will fit in your daily routine in terms of positioning. So I will just apply the coil on the chest of my patient, and you can see that I can really fit the coil to my patient morphology. Really easy to set up, really comfortable for me and for the patient, and we can start the cardiac examination. Just to mention because we were talking about the workflow as well. We have here on the side of the table what we call the IntelliTouch. This is the feature that I'm going to use to create my landmark. With only one finger, I will just have to press on the side of the table to create my landmark, and then the system will manage everything by itself regarding the coils element selection using AirTouch, something we are going to come back on during the scanning session. So I will just create my landmark, send my patient in the bar, and I will let you know in the end of Hicham Gwadjelia that I have a lot of information to share with you, just the time we took the camera out of the room to start the scanning session. See you in just 1 minute.
Hi everyone, good morning, and thanks to attend and to join us this morning for this latest MR and exciting live scanning session. And we'll finish in the summer with the cardiac. So as you know, the cardiac is growing more and more and more, and we are doing more and more cardiac. And I really would like, and the SCMR is just done. SCMR is the Worldwide Congress done only for the cardiac MR. And I really encourage you to have a look on this latest edition on our Signapulse called the CV Works. This is a collection with this 2021 edition, and there is a lot of content inside where you can have a different case study. There is in practice how to work with the cardiac MR with the COVID-19 disease, particularly with the myocarditis cases. And you can see here in the cover the nice MP coil, the nice MP cardiac coil, because this coil was directly optimized for the cardiac purpose. And you have a lot of content from Matthias Friedrich here, and you can see here there is a lot of material where you can check. And as well, we will talk have some word about the Airicon DL, and we will scan with Airicon DL, particularly in cardiac, because many sequences on cardiac are compatible with Airicon DL, and you will see the huge benefit of these techniques to improve the image quality and reduce the scan time. So at the end as well for this, some material as well for the flow. This is a really nice technique where we can have a look on some case study with the for the flow and with different post-processing techniques. I encourage you mainly to go at the end of this issue, because there is some webinar embedded and some link with the YouTube links where you can click directly on the YouTube links with this magazine, and you can go directly and check what was the for example here a nice talk about the consistent and quantifiable result in cardiac imaging from Dr. Hirsch from Erasmus, or another example from Matthias Friedrich, the state of art of the cardiac MRI. And you will find as well our Sigma Masters cardiac series here with several talk done recently. So we will have the link to connect and directly to download this magazine in the electronic format when you will receive the video from our marketing to the video from this scanning session. So do you have some questions regarding the Signapulse or about cardiac right now before we start to scan? Apparently no. I don't know if there is any questions in the chat. Let me have a look. No, neither as well. So feel free again to ask any questions here, and I leave the floor now to Jeremy. Jeremy, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Hicham. So here we are at the operator console of our system. First step, and an important step when we start any cardiac examination, here we have the SAR limit level to define. By default, for your current patient, you will scan with the first level of SAR. But in case you have a patient which have a cardiac implant, you will be able to select the low SAR mode here and to fill directly the values that are provided by the manufacturer in order to modify automatically by the system the parameters that are used for the acquisition and to scan your patient safely. And for sure, with no manual step for you, so easy and safe. Let's start our scanning session from here. We'll start by running a 3-plane localizer. And while it's running, let's make together an overview of what we are going to scan this morning. So our goal this morning is really to perform a really common and routine acquisition exams. First of all, we'll start with Fiesta sequence to have a brief overview of the thorax. And then what is really important when we scan cardiac, it's to have a good cardiac acquisition plane. So you will see that we will use the IDrive technique which is a real-time acquisition technique to get our cardiac plane. And we will scan some Fiesta Cine in different planes to show you as well how to change the plane and how it could be easy. We will do some morphological sequences with the T2 double inversion recovery, some quantitative approach with the mapping, some tagging as well, and we'll finish with a 4D flow. Let me just maybe position the first sequence on the thorax. So an actual Fiesta, really quick, really fast, just to have a good overview of the arteries, of the vessel, and of the full thorax of our patients. And then we'll use as well this sequence to help us to position the 4D flow at the end. While we are running this one, let me just start to highlight the right bottom corner, which is a really important part when we scan. Here, first, we have the coil part, which is the AirTouch interface. So I told you just before that AirTouch, it's an automatic coils element selection. So from here, you can see that the system selected our hair multipurpose medium coil, 20 channel element, and the posterior coil. From that, the system will automatically, following your prescription, switch on or switch off the different elements to deliver you the best image quality. Another part, the protocol note, which is really important. You can let any comment to your colleagues, or you can make some screen capture to show them how to position cardiac. We know that sometimes some radiographer could start with the cardiac prescription, so it will be really helpful to use this part. And the last part, the waveform, where you will be able to follow your VCGs. So our Fiesta ungated, it's just arriving here. And let's start with our iDrive. So iDrive, I will only position one slices here in the heart, and we will start from this. And with a real-time acquisition, we will select all our plan. So you will see it will be real-time and free breathing for the patient. And you will see that it will be really easy for you with really few manipulation. So the interface will just pop up, and we will then have the capability to generate our pseudo 2-chamber, 4-chamber, short axis, and everything. Okay. This is our acquisition. I click here on draw line, and then I just have to select my plan. With a right click, the system will provide me the plan. Okay, this is my pseudo 2-chamber. We'll do the same for the 4-chamber. I can here save the image to have the good positioning. Now the short axis. Right click as well. I have here my short axis. I can use for a real 4-chamber.
Yeah, let me add just one point, Jeremy, here. I think in your display, remotely, you can see that we just have the shape around of the heart. But if you are in the really on the screen, you can see the blood is bright and the muscle dark, and it would be way more easy to plan the plan. But here and we were using Teams, sometimes the images could be degraded as you saw. It's not that so easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And another pain of the COVID. So I can use here my fourth chamber, for example. I will position the fourth chamber here, and yeah, position my shim box on the heart. Okay, and you can see that, okay, my slices are already pre-positioned. Because when I'm clicking on an image, I will automatically be perpendicular to this image. So you can see that we are already pretty well positioned for the short axis. And let's have a look maybe of the parameters. For the short axis, we will have a 6 millimeter slice thickness, which is really thin slices, and with 47 milliseconds of temporal resolution, with a pretty good in-plane resolution as well. Here, I think for this presentation, we'll not have probably the time to scan all the heart, but what is really great with that is that we can start to acquire the sequence and just make a stop scan, and the system will keep the good acquisition. So let's start from few slices, and let's then stop the scanning. Okay, and you will see as well, maybe you will hear during the acquisition that we are managing the threshold with the auto voice. So all the commands are automatic. You can define the command that you want to use for your threshold command, and you can as well customize and use your own threshold command. Okay, so first acquisition. Maybe I will put the sound for you. It's French because our volunteer is in French. And then we have the acquisition. You can see here, you have the acquisition time remaining, and we will see in live the images arriving in the view, in the auto view. Okay, first sequence. And then the system will manage everything by itself. Let's position the fourth chamber. So it will be the same. You can see here that our shim box is already pasted from the other acquisition. So I won't have to use anything. And I will be able, yeah, to just position the slices. Another slices. And what is possible here as well is to use the sequence we acquired before to position it. It could be really an help to really anatomically position the other sequence. Okay, maybe one more slices for the short axis, and we will go to the fourth chamber.
So as you can notice here on the 3D system, where we have a very good signal and homogeneity signal with a nice delineation and less bonding artifact, particularly tough sometimes when you are using a 3T system. Performing here a short axis Fiesta sequences. This is an SSSP sequences used for the morphology and as well for to perform the volume, the left ventricle ejection fraction and the right valve.
Yes, thank you, Hicham. Here, maybe let's now try to start our morphological sequences. So you can see everything is already pre-positioned from our previous prescription. And I don't have to manage everything. So here, maybe we will just cover one slice for this acquisition to have time to see a lot of other things, and as well we will see some post-processing with Jérôme just right after. But just here, maybe before to run this sequence, something important to highlight. On this acquisition, we are using Ericon DL. So if you were with us previously in the week, you already saw some acquisition with this technique. It's our deep learning based reconstruction algorithm, which is working on the raw data in order to select and remove noise and Gibbs artifact. So it will deliver you sharper images with really more signal noise ratio. So here for a morphological sequence, it will be important to do that, to have thin slices. Here you can see that you have 6mm slices with a nice in-plane resolution, 1.4 by 1.6. So you can see that this technique is as well compatible with the cardiac acquisitions. So it's compatible here for morphology, but it will be as well compatible for the first pass perfusion and with as well the late gadolinium enhancement technique. So we will show you just right after with Jérôme clinical cases with the post-GAD acquisition using this Ericon DL technique, because for sure we cannot inject our volunteer this morning. Let's do the same with the 4-chamber acquisition. Exactly the same. Everything is pre-positioned. I'm using Ericon DL. Something important maybe here to mention is it's the strength of the algorithm. You can see that you can really select your own level and to keep the end of the image quality that you will generate. Okay, maybe let's have a look of our sequences that we already acquired. Let's have a look at the 2 Fiesta Cine we acquired. I hope that in the Teams meeting you will be able to really taste the image quality. Feel free, Hicham, to tell me if it's okay for you in this.
No, it's okay here. We can see perfectly the images. Yeah, if you can reduce the speed, it's nice. A little bit more again because there is maybe some lag due to Teams, but it's very nice.
Okay.
Thank you, Jenny.
So you can see here we still have a good contrast with thin slices using a 3T system.
What is very interesting is that with that contrast, we can use Cine Fiesta just after gadolinium injection. You don't have to do this before the injection. So it's very nice, and you can see also very clearly the valvula right there. You have the mitral valve, and in the 4-chamber you exactly have the same view. You can very easily define the valvula and the location of the valve. And we can also take a look to the black blood sequences. We run 2 very nice sequences, and what is very interesting is that you can really zoom inside the acquisition, and you can view the resolution on the papillar muscle right there, and you can see also the homogeneity of the acquisition. We don't have any slow flow artifact. The definition of the myocardium is very, very clear, and here you can also have a look to the valve. So it's a very nice acquisition using this air recon DL technique. And maybe we can go back to the acquisition.
Thank you, Jérôme, for those explanations on the image quality. Yes, it's important to mention that we obtain this nice details, this nice resolution, because we are using high matrix, high in-plane resolution, and with the icon DL. Maybe my proposition, because we still have 15 minutes, let's run a mapping sequence where you will be able to see how to deal with the post-processing, which is automatic. I will show you the inline post-processing. And then I think we will be able to move to maybe the 4D flow acquisition and to have a look together of some nice clinical cases. You see again, few manipulation. The workflow is really easy for me at the operator console. Once I started with a good cardiac plane, I just have to use it for the whole examination. I will just save and run this sequence. Okay, and maybe let's do the same for the tagging, which is another type of sequence. That's nice that this morning we have time to cover everything. Again, one slide to really have this capability to cover more examination. Maybe yeah.
Yeah, maybe on the tagging we can take a look on the parameter. What is very simple to change is the form of the tagging type. Here we will use the grid, a grid under the myocardium, but you can very easily change to a stripe if you prefer. So it's very simple, and you can have these two type of tagging. Of course, this tagging technique can be also combined with the standard strain analysis using the feature tracking. So you can try this two kind of acquisition, tagging or feature tracking on the Fiesta acquisition using a post-processing software.
Okay, maybe here I will position the 4D flow, and we will maybe have a look of the clinical images that we prepare. 4D flow. So 4D flow will be a parasagittal acquisition. Let me take the first Fiesta gated we acquired at the beginning. It will be easy for me then to find my parasagittal plane. You can see just by clicking the system is already positioning the acquisition. And yeah, I will take the sagittal plane. And it will be a great sequence, I think here as well, to really taste the coverage you still have using this multi-purpose air coil.
Yeah, this multi-purpose air coil, it's very nice because you can also have aorta examination, not only heart, but also aorta, which is very, very nice, and you still have the versatility of the air coil. For the 4D flow acquisition, it's very, very simple because it's only a box you have to put on the patient, and you have just to take care that all the anatomy is inside this box. After that, we acquired the flow in the three directions, so anterior, superior, and so on. So it's a very short acquisition. It could be between 3 and 10 minutes. So we will really have a very short and very easy to handle acquisition. So here for the aorta, it's 4 minutes because our patient he have a very low cardiac rate, but for standard patient, it's more around 4 minutes. Maybe we can also take a look to the mapping. Okay. So of course we have a standard reconstruction for the mapping. We generate both T1 and T2 map directly into the console. You don't have to generate the map after the acquisition, and you can see that this acquisition is very homogeneous and with a very high spatial resolution. So we can compare these two acquisition, and the mapping, it's very, very nice, either at 3T. We can also switch to a clinical case just to see the result with gadolinium, because as is a volunteer, we cannot inject. But in that case, we have a real patient. It's not a standard one because it is quite heavy. Normally, it's a very difficult patient because he weighs 140 kilograms, so it's how to say that a big baby, and the acquisition is very, very nice. You can see this is the first pass perfusion, and you can see all the information you can obtain with this hypoperfusion right there. Very nice, very well defined, and that with a very, very high in-place resolution and a very, very thin slicing. And this is the light gadolinium enhancement using a single shot acquisition, free briefing, and you can test the image quality and the homogeneity of the signal. You can see the lesion right there, which is very well defined, and this was totally free briefing. And the same acquisition with a segmented acquisition, and you can see the contrast, which is very, very nice, and the definition of the lesion, which is very, very well defined, and with a very high spatial resolution, with very, very thin slices. Because here in the single shot we are at 6 millimeter slice thickness, which is very nice. Maybe we can switch also to the 4D4 plus processing. I will take the screen just to share my own computer. Okay, let's go. So here we can see a 4D flow without GAD, and we can, with this 4D flow, we have a total volume like that, and you can view the flow in all directions. So right there, I choose only the aorta, and I can view the flow inside this aorta with a streamline like that. So if you have a vortex, you can see, you will be able to see this vortex with these streamlines. And I think I will reduce the speed just to be sure that you can. Yeah. So we can measure the flow everywhere. Here you have the aorta, and we can measure the flow everywhere with an automatic like that. And you have the curve of the flow inside the aorta right there. So you can do that, of course, for the aorta, but you can also measure the flow everywhere, not only on the aorta. You can measure the flow on the heart, but also on peripheral system like hand or knee or something like that. it's very easy to measure the flow with the 4D flow everywhere. Another view, you can turn everywhere. We can also analyze the wall shear stress for this aorta, which can give you a lot of information about that, about the rigidity of the aorta. So with this 4D flow technique, it's very easy to handle. It's very quick, very fast. And what is very important also is that we have all the cardiac cycle. Not only it's a retrospective acquisition, so we have 100% of the cardiac cycle, and we can reconstruct a lot of phases to have a very low temporal resolution. We can give you more possibilities of post-processing. We can come back then to the acquisition. The 4D flow is already finished, and very quickly you have a very quick overview of this acquisition. So you can see all the 3 directions, and what is very important to see is that the acquisition is very nice. I can open it on. Yeah, and what is very important is the speed of the reconstruction right there. So here we have more than 6,000 images to reconstruct, and the system will do that very quickly. And in few seconds it will be done, and we will be able to view the reconstruction right there.
Yeah, this is a very nice point that you said, Jérôme, regarding the 4D flow. This technique, it's I would like to say a must-have when you are performing a congenital heart disease. Not only because this is an easy technique to set up, but they can give you a ton of information for the congenital heart disease, and as well for the all valve disease that you can meet in your daily routine.
Thank you, Hicham. It's important to really to make the clinical story fit to what we performed this morning. So if we have to summarize while we are looking at those nice 4D flow imaging, maybe yes, just to highlight what we said before, that we are using here the cardiac multipurpose coil, and you can see that you have really a nice homogeneity, a nice quantity of signal from the top to the end of the aorta that we scan. So that's really great. This is really the versatile coil in the sense that you can scan what you want, and you won't have any limitation in your acquisition using this multi-purpose coil. So this morning, what we saw, because we are only 2 minutes remaining, we saw, I think, a pretty patient-oriented experience with the multi-purpose coil, with an easy workflow. You saw that when I created my plan, then it runs really smooth for the acquisition. We saw as well the image quality due to the Eric-on-DL technique and some nice, I would say, clinical advanced technique like the 4D flow. Hicham, to finish, do you have any question or remark in the chat?
No, there is no questions and remark in the chat. So apparently you were very clear, guys. So
that's good.
This is good. So again, you will find several information in the Signal Pulse, the cardiac supplement that you will receive with the link of the video soon. And I just would like to thank you again to join and to attend to this session for the cardiac. And feel free to ask questions if you have questions but I cannot see anyone yet for in the chat.
So thank you all for attending. I wish you a pleasant end of Congress and a sunny and nice Sunday. And I would thank you as well, Jérôme, who was with me and explained a lot of things to us this morning. Thank you all, and I hope to see you really soon.